difficulties, but we're going to rock this call this evening. I have two amazing rock stars. Wouldn't you say it's value to be able to hear from two amazing leaders? And one of those leaders has acquired over, in the last 90 days, close to 60 customers. Okay, so I have my pad and pen here ready on Turbo. I want to find out what she's doing. I want to get some tips this evening. So again, hey, welcome, Valerie. Hey, Christina, welcome. Tracy again. Hey, what's going on, Valerie? Hey, and what we're going to do, be respectful of your time. I am going to kick this Zoom off right now. And again, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's Brian Heflin here in beautiful Puerto Rico. It's my honor to be hosting this Zoom this evening. We have two amazing rock stars with us, Courtney Hatley and Sara Bolssen. And Courtney is an amazing leader with our company, and she's going to share how to fit this business into your nooks and crannies. And then she's going to introduce one of her rock stars, Sara, and she's going to share with you what she's doing to acquire all the customers that she's acquiring in her business here with the Happy Co. And tonight, what I'd like to talk about is really the cornerstone. Well, before I introduce Sara, is the cornerstone of leadership and really how this can make a difference. You'll always hear me say, not only in your business, but also in your personal and professional lives. I learned many years ago, leadership is about taking responsibility. My mentor used to always say, if you want the opportunity, Brian, you have to take the responsibility. It's also about setting an example. And you're setting an example for people around you and inspiring others to achieve their full potential. And speaking of inspiring leaders, I have the pleasure of introducing the amazing Courtney Hatley. And Courtney's a mom of two. She's a full-time teacher. She truly embodies the cornerstone of leadership. Courtney leads by example and motivates those around her to be the best that they can be, not only in their lives, but in their business. She has an amazing work ethic, a positive attitude. She has tireless work, and she has an unwavering commitment to her family, her students, her brand partners, and her customers. So again, Courtney, take it away. I have my pen here and my pad. It's an honor to have you sharing with us this evening.
Oh, thank you so much, Brian. Can you give me a thumbs up? Can you hear me okay? Awesome. Thank you so much, Brian. You listen, and I know everyone that jumps on these calls know, but you are always like, you're my hype man. You are always hyping us up, hyping up your leaders, supporting us. And we truly, I think I can speak on behalf of all of the leaders here. We truly appreciate you and your leadership. Thank you for your support always. And so I just wanted to take a minute to hype you up because you are always hyping us up. So I appreciate the warm welcome. I'm super excited to be here tonight for several reasons. But I want to talk to you guys tonight about how you can work this business part-time, full-time, anytime, anywhere, right from your phone. And so some of you that are on this call tonight, you've heard my story. Some of you may not have. So I want to, in order for this to kind of make sense, I do want to kind of do a little bit of a backstory, and I promise I'm going to try to go quick with this because I have an amazing rock star, y'all. You just get ready that I'm going to introduce you in a few minutes, and I don't want to take up her time. So I'm going to try to go through my part quickly, but just a little bit of a backstory. As Brian said, I am a full-time school teacher. So I am not able, I want to be completely honest and transparent on this call. I am not able to put 100% of my everything into my side business. I mean, in a perfect world, we would, right? I have many titles. I'm a wife, I'm a mom, I'm a school teacher, I'm a leader, I'm a daughter, I'm a sister. And so in a perfect world, we would put in 100% into everything that we do. But I'm being transparent here and I'm being honest, being a full-time school teacher, I am not able to do that. And so that's part of my story. So I won't go into, how I joined the business and all that tonight, but I joined 5 years ago. I just recently celebrated my 5-year anniversary with Happy Co. And it's still like surreal to say this. And sometimes I have a hard time saying it. I have a hard time saying this. And I'll tell you why. I am considered here in this business a top leader. I have a hard time saying that. I'm a leader in my classroom, but to be considered a top leader here in this company still is very surreal to me. And you can't see, but I'll get chill bumps just talking about it, and I get emotional about it. But over the years, I've been able to have a huge amount of success just by working this business part-time, y'all. I spoke at convention. If you were there, this is where you kind of heard my story. But Taylor Warrior, he doesn't even know this, that what he said has stuck in my mind since I left convention, because he truly understands my passion for teaching and my heart for it. And so when he introduced me on stage, and I wrote this down because I didn't want to say it wrong. And I think this is important for you guys to know, especially those of you that are working and doing this part-time. I just think this is so profound. And so he said, it's not always a race to get you out of what you're doing or whatever it is that you're doing. Sometimes your passions in life and what you're doing, this is a vessel to help you get there, to help you stay there. Guys, I never considered, when I started teaching, I never thought that I would need a second income. Okay, so when it came to needing a second income, I had no idea what I was going to do. Okay, that's a whole nother story. All right, we'll save that for another day. But I didn't join this business to get out of what I was doing. I joined this business so I could continue my passion and live comfortably. And that's why I joined this business. And so sometimes people will ask me, I've been able to triple my monthly teaching income. And so many people will ask me, especially like my teacher friends, they'll say, Courtney, why are you still teaching? Why are you still doing this? Because it's my passion, y'all. Like, they're probably going to be kicking me out when I'm 30 years old and it's time for me to retire. They're going to be like, it's time for you to go. You've done your job here. It is my passion. I'm not ready to give that up yet. Now, in the next 5 years, who knows? Maybe so, but I'm not ready for that. So that really stuck out to me, and I wanted to share it with you guys. So it's not always to get you out of what you're doing or what your passions are in life. And with that said, I kind of want to talk about tonight how when I'm able to fit this into my schedule and kind of, what I do from the time I get up until I go to bed at night. And I'm going to do this quickly, okay? And you guys are going to laugh at what I'm about to tell you next, okay? So when my feet hit the floor, okay, now your girl likes to sleep. I'm going to hit snooze about 3 or 4 times, okay? But when my feet hit the floor and I get up, first thing I have to do is take my dog out. So y'all are going to laugh at this. So when I take my dog out, because y'all, my students come in the door at 6:50 a.m. Okay, so I don't have a lot of time in the mornings to do business. So when I take him out, is when the very first thing I do is I'll check Messenger. Okay, so I'm in my Messenger. If a customer has messaged me, if a person from my team has messaged me, anyone, I'm going to get back with them. I may not have an answer right away, or I may not have the information they need right away, but you can ask my team. I will send them messages at 5 a.m. in the morning. They'll tell you. Jennifer's on here. She'll tell you. Sarah will tell you. I will send them messages at 5 a.m. in the morning while my dog's going out. Okay, to follow back up with them and to touch base with them, whatever it is that they need. So that's what I do first thing when my feet hit the floor. Next thing I do while I'm still walking my dog is I check my back office. And so I do all that, y'all. Listen, you got to fit it in when you can. I do that in the dark, it's cold. I'm out there with a jacket on in the cold, in the dark at 5 a.m. walking my dog. So you got to make the time, right? Then, okay, I get ready and do that and go to work. Okay, my kids come in at 6:50. It's from 6:50 to 2:10. Guess what? I can't post on social media. I can't be on social media during the school day. My team also knows that as well. And a lot of times they won't message me until after my students have been dismissed. So sometimes, when your own trainings or your upline is giving you tips and strategies, you might hear them say, well, hey, you need to do this. Hey, you need to do that. You need to make 3 posts a day. You need to post in your stories. And while all those things are good, all those things are beneficial, all those things are great, it might not fit into your day. You might not be able to get 3 posts up a day. I'm not able to do that because I can't post during the school day, right? So sometimes we look at that and we might get overwhelmed. We might get intimidated. How many of you, put a 5 in the comments, if you have been overwhelmed or intimidated at all the things that you think you need to do, right, in a day, and you see other top leaders doing that, and you think, well, gosh, I can't do that because I don't stay home 24/7 and work on this, or I can't do that, and I'll never be able to do that, right? Okay, this is, I'm proof right here that you can work this business in the nooks of your crannies of your day and do what you can, right? You don't want to do minimal, okay? You still want to put in the work. You still want to keep growing, and changing is growing. You still want to keep changing, and put in the time that you're able to put in. Today, after the kids left at 2:10, I was right on the phone with Brian in my classroom, room 404, right? Still in the classroom, working on tonight's call, making our graphics, doing all the things when I can get that fit in. And I had to tell Brian today, look, I'm working, I'm in the classroom, I'll get back with you at 3:15. And so that's what we did. So you fit it in when you can. When I get home from school, I immediately follow up with customers or my team and Messenger, hop on leadership's calls. Guys, show up. Get on those calls. You're on this call tonight. That is awesome. Pat yourself on the back. Because when you show up, you go up. I said that on the last time that I was doing this training. Try to make time for your Monday night calls, your Wednesday night calls, because it's good training. It's good for your mind. It's good for your soul. And we can motivate you and encourage you. So I say all this to say, and I know I'm kind of rambling and I'm sorry, but you want to work this business when you can. If you're feeling overwhelmed, take a step back. It's okay. Take a step back. Do what you can, one day, 1 hour, 1 minute at a time. I wanted to share something with you too before I introduce my rock star. So Rob Sperry, he's a keynote speaker and coach, and he's amazing. He spoke at our convention. His books, love reading his books. But anyway, I follow him on Instagram. If you don't follow Rob Sperry on Instagram, go follow him. He is wonderful, and I love seeing his posts. Well, he had posted the other day, and I went and wrote this down because I think this speaks to so many of us. And this is what he said. He said, all in doesn't mean you have to be full-time in network marketing. It is a mindset. It is a commitment to do whatever it takes. So whatever it takes, whenever you can fit it in, do just that. I'm going to say part of what I said at convention. Don't give up. Stay the course. Put your blinders on. There's going to be distractions. Put them on. Stay the course and do the things. Okay. And you will be rewarded. So there's so much more I could say, but I want to respect your time. And I would love to take just a minute to introduce a leader from our team. She is absolutely incredible, y'all. I cannot say enough good things about her. Sara Bolssen. We are so excited to have you on tonight. Sara is a wife, and she has many titles too. She is the wife, she is the mom, and crazy thing, Sara actually just took on a part-time job that kind of just fell in her lap that she could not say no to. And I want to share something with y'all. So she started this part-time very recently this month, okay? And this girl, she always kills it with her customers, okay? She's going to talk about attaining new customers and retaining those existing customers. We're going to get here from her in just a second. But I messaged her today. I was like, girl, do you know, and I knew she knew. I mean, I know she knows, but I'm like, do you know that you have increased your customer count this month while working part-time already, and it's not the end of the month yet. So she's already up two new customers from last month. And she started a part-time job. So she is just absolutely incredible. The last 3 product launches that we've had, this rock star, okay, y'all might want to sit down. You're probably already sitting down. But she sold 40, and I may be wrong on some of them, but I'm in the right range there. I think I am. 40 plus, let's say that, 40 plus tubs of our new products. So that's Paradise Punch, that's Frost, and then Berry Blast. She is a total rock star. So Sara, without further ado, welcome. We are so excited to learn your little tips and strategies, and you can take it away, my friend.
Well, thank you very much. That was an awesome introduction. I appreciate it. So I have a list of things. I don't know where I'm going to start, but I guess part of how I, get new customers and retaining customers is I never stop planting seeds. So just make sure that you're not holding out hope for, prospects. Okay, I've talked, I have 5 people that might order, and then you're slowing down. So just make sure that you're still planting seeds. You're still talking to more people, because those people may not pan out, and then you're back, at square one. So just keep constantly looking for new prospects. I am adding new friends every single day. And, now that I started a part-time job, I work 4 days a week. So I have, only one day other than the weekends that, I have free time. And that's usually when I'm getting caught up on housework and things like that. So I'm still, not completely free. But I'm still making sure every morning, like Courtney was saying, when she lets her dog out, but every morning, I get my oldest son up for school, and while he's getting ready, I'm adding new friends, I'm checking Messenger, I'm doing those things. I try to do an inspirational post in the mornings, and then I do a business or product post in the afternoon. Sometimes I, miss my inspirational post in the morning, but I try to do that because, people like to see things other than product and business posts, but you want to still make sure that you're also sharing your story, as well. So those are big things that I do. And then I know not everyone's a fan of cold messages, but I do send quite a few cold messages. This month, honestly, I don't think I sent any cold messages, but I've had people that I've been in contact with over the past few months, and I have a lot of other new prospects that haven't ordered yet, because I'm just constantly planting those seeds and talking to new people. So I'm constantly have a very large list of prospects each month. And in my notes in my phone, I have March, and then I list all my prospects as people reach out to me, as I talk to people about the products, I have them all in there. I do the same thing for brand partner prospects. So whether it's customers that, I've talked to about possibly joining and that are, possibly interested, or if I sent cold messages to people about the business, I list those. So then I know who to follow up with. So it's a lot easier to keep track of who your prospects are, rather than going through Messenger and trying to do it. I just constantly, if someone commented on my post, I put them on there. Another thing I will do sometimes, I don't do this all that often, I should do it more, but when I have spare time, I will go and I will look to see who liked or loved my post, my business post or product post. If it's someone I haven't talked to before, I'll reach out to them and I'll say, and I don't have my exact script here, but something like, hey, so-and-so, thank you so much for loving on my posts. Are you just being supportive, or would you like more information? Either way, I truly appreciate the support. And a lot of times it's someone that is interested, but they just haven't felt comfortable enough to reach out to you. And they're like, yeah, I would like information. Other times it's just, oh, I'm just supporting you, whatever. But I've had those that say, I'm just, being supportive. And a week or two later, all of a sudden they message me and want more information about the product. So it's starting those conversations. Like, that's an easy way to start a conversation with someone. For birthdays, I send messages. I don't like put it on their on their page. I send messages, and I try to do it. This is just my method. I try to do it the day after and say happy belated birthday, and then I put their name. And then they say thank you, and I'm like, you're welcome. Did you do anything fun to celebrate? Just to kind of keep the conversation going. And sometimes when I send those birthday messages, it's someone that I've talked to in the past about the products that had maybe ghosted me. And I've had those, when I send them a birthday message, maybe they ghosted me 6 months ago, and they say thank you. Oh, by the way, can you send me your link again? Like, it just brings it up again. So, those are really easy ways to start that conversation up again without being spammy and constantly sending them follow-up messages. I will, follow up if I have a prospect. I will follow up with them, a couple times periodically throughout the month, just to see, or what I try to do is I'll follow up with them usually once, like a week after I've talked to them, if they haven't ordered or reached out anymore. And then I usually try to do, I'll send something else, maybe like, oh, I just wanted to reach out and let you know that all new customers get $10 off their first order. So I don't say that, well, sometimes I do, but I usually don't say that initially. I save that because then that's another way to follow up with them without being like, hey, I'm just following up again. So you're not constantly using the same thing. Or if we have free shipping all of a sudden, like Courtney will sometimes offer free shipping to people. Okay, so I didn't have this in my notes, but now that I've mentioned that, when she does that, okay, and she does this fairly often, which is amazing. She's an amazing leader. Like, it'll be like a day or a weekend. Hey, the first 10 new customers or whatever, that you get, throughout the whole team, get free shipping. I will literally message every single one of my prospects. That is a huge thing. And I will tell you, I have gotten so many new customers from that, just from that, from her offering that, because I take the time and I have my prospect list in my notes, and I take the time to go through and message every single one of them. And usually it's nice because usually she does it on the weekend. So I do have more time to, sit there and message them. Also make sure that you're loving on people's posts on your news feed. If you're just scrolling through Facebook and, make sure you're commenting on people's posts. And I've noticed, and I don't know, this must be a thing because I've noticed it like all the time. If someone posts like, oh, it's happy birthday to my son or whatever, and I comment happy birthday, as I'm scrolling, I'm seeing like a lot of birthday posts. Those are super easy posts to comment on. So now you're boosting, now they're going to be seeing your posts in their newsfeed more because you've commented. I don't think it boosts it as much as if you just like it or love it, but if you comment. So those are seriously easy ones. You don't have to think about, oh, what should I say on this post? It's just a simple happy birthday. And usually if you go to comment, it'll have like a happy birthday thing right there. You just click on it. You don't even have to type it. Super simple. So make sure you're loving on people's posts so that, you're boosting your algorithm. As far as retaining customers, so for Paradise Punch, Perks Frost, and Berry Blast, I literally got a spreadsheet because you can export spreadsheets of my customers from back office. And I messaged, again, every single one of them, unless there was some other reason why they weren't ordering anymore or anything. But 95% of my customers in the almost 3 years that I've been here, I sent messages to about these products. So just to let them know, hey, we have a new, even if they're not ordering anymore, because, hey, we have a new product. This thing is amazing. This product is amazing. You should try it. I don't remember how I worded it. It wasn't like that, but something like that to let them know. And I had so many people that hadn't ordered in months, maybe even a year, that ordered Paradise Punch. Now they're ordering they ordered the Frost. Now they're ordering, the Berry Blast. They hadn't ordered in 6 months to a year, and now they're back and they're ordering every month. I do follow up with my, all of my customers. I'll usually follow up with them a few days after they get their products, and then maybe a week later. And then I kind of leave them sit for a little bit. And then maybe in like a couple weeks later, because I don't want to bug them and be like, hey, are you still liking the product? Every 3 days or every week. I don't want to bug them and like scare them off to be like, okay, I'm just going to stop these because she's bugging the heck out of me. I don't want to do that, but I do want to check in with them. And then I'll go, after like the first month, then I'll check in with them every couple months, unless, I see that they stopped ordering or something like that, then, or if they've reached out and said, hey, this isn't working for me. Obviously, in that situation, I'll suggest something else or suggest a tweak or something. Appreciating our customers. I mean, that's a huge thing. I have a private or a group for my customers and, prospects. I mean, I've got people in there that have never ordered from me, people that I maybe haven't even talked to about the products. And I'll post, incentives and things like that, but I'm always posting thank yous in there. And I don't know if that helps or not, but a lot of my customers, when I post their thank you in there, they'll comment on it or they'll like it. Like, I think they, appreciate that I'm giving them a shout out and thanking them for it. So I think that's a big thing. Let me look at my notes. So the more customers that you get every month, the more customers you're going to retain, because there's always going to be somebody that's going to fall off the bandwagon, stop using the products, whatever. And you can't rely on your customers to order every single month. That's why, again, going back to never stop planting seeds. You got to constantly be talking to people and adding new friends. You have, like, I probably add 20 or at least send friend requests to at least 20 people a day. I mean, I might miss a day here and there if I didn't get the time to do it, but I just go to suggested friends. I look for people that I have mutual friends with, kind of look at their profile a little bit. I don't spend a ton of time on it. And if it seems like someone that, I could relate with, I send them a friend request. I don't send it to people that I don't have mutual friends with because I don't want to take a chance of getting any creepers or anything like that. So, I try to kind of scope it out a little bit. Let me just see here. Be passionate and be relatable. So don't make your, posts salesy. Don't say, don't use salesy looking graphics. Be passionate, share your story. Like that's what it's about. And that's why I do, try to do inspirational posts in the morning too, because people can relate to those things. They can be like, oh man, I really needed to see that or hear that today. I'm so glad she posted that. And then they're going to want to see, your posts more. They're going to look more at your business and product posts too, if they see things like that. But if they're only seeing salesy posts, they're going to unfollow you. So make sure you're sharing your story and, pain points, things that you struggled with, so like if you struggled with focus, talk about that. Say, man, I used to never be able to focus. I couldn't stay focused on reading a book. I could never finish it and read it till the end. I made a change. I started these supplements. Man, I am so focused now. Something like that. That was just off the whim. So I wouldn't use that quote, verbatim, but something like that. Just and simple and to the point. Is, I try to do that. What I try to do, this is again, me personally, I try very hard to not make my post so long that you have to click see more, because I know that people are only going to read for so long. I, for one, because I have ADD, so I have a hard time reading a lot. So I'll read a little bit, and if I'm interested, I'll keep reading. But if I'm not, I'm going to keep scrolling. That's me personally. So I try to make like the first sentence, bring them in. They're like, oh, what is this about? And then they want to read more, but I try not to make it too long because I know people aren't going to want to read that much. Unless it's like, I will sometimes, if it's like a really passionate story, something I'm really passionate about, I'll make it longer. Okay, I know I'm probably running out of time, but I have a private group. It is just me. This is just a tip. It is just me. I just have it called Sara Posts. I put my posts in there first so that I can see how they look. So I can scroll and see, okay, where is the see more? Do I need to shorten this up? Should I change something? Should I center something? Things like that. Does this picture fit with this post? I don't know. I'm very like OCD about my post, but then I can see how it's going to look when I post it on my page and not have to try and keep changing it after I post it. So that's just a tip. And if you are one that, only has so much free time, you can do that and plan out your posts. So you can put, 7 posts in there and bam, you've got all your posts for the entire week. Just copy them out of there and put them on your page every day. So you don't have to sit there and think about them every day. I think that's pretty much it. Oh, be yourself. Sorry, that was one other thing I had on here. Be yourself. When I talk to people, prospects, customers, I have a script that I use when they're asking about the products, but anything that's out of that, I am just completely honest with them. I'm completely myself. I don't try to act salesy or anything like that. I'm just totally me. And they appreciate that because they want to know that you're a human and not a robot. So I think that's all I have. Yes, I'm done.
Ladies and gentlemen, give Courtney and Sara lots of love in the chat, please. Courtney, what you shared was that just by being consistent, we always say being persistent and consistent. Even if it's 10 minutes, if it's 20 minutes, if it's an hour, as long as you continually put in that time, you're going to succeed in this business. You're going to continue to advance. And so I appreciate you being so authentic, Courtney, and sharing that with everyone, because that's really the key to being successful, not only in this business, but any business, any job. Being successful in life as a parent, you got to be consistent day in and day out. And Sara, what you have given us here, I know a lot of people are going to go back to this replay because this replay is golden. Give her some love. Didn't she drop a lot of golden nuggets that's going to help everyone in their business? Because what I heard from you, Sara, and it's my first time actually hearing what you do day in and day out. You're a machine. You're a machine, but you're consistent. And what I love about it, you're not doing anything that anyone on this Zoom can't do. And that's what I love about this business. What you're doing, everyone on this Zoom can do what you're currently doing. So again, give her some love, ladies and gentlemen. They deserve it, Courtney and Sara. And I'm going to share a story with everyone because I'm going to end the Zoom on mindset, attitude, and leadership. And those of you that know me, I'm very private. I normally don't post much about my personal life on social media. I'm a private person. But I think sometimes things that I encounter in my life may be able to help you when you encounter things in your life. And I'm going to share a quick story with you. I met a gentleman over 28 years ago. I may never forget, my mentor was doing a training, and the training was on wealth building. So it wasn't on network marketing, it was on wealth building. And he said, there's a difference of making money, but there's a difference of building wealth. And he said, to build wealth, you have to have the right mindset and you have to have the right attitude. And it's not, are you going to encounter problems? It's how you're going to respond to those problems is what's going to elevate you, not in this business, but in your life. And so those of you know that I'm building a home in Bali, Indonesia, and I encountered adversity. You know, I was there in October. It's a 24-hour plane ride, okay? And so you know, $20,000 for the architect. You know, some of you have saw the drawings, and we're rocking and rolling. And then the owner of that development called me a month ago, and he said, Brian, I have good news and bad news. He said, the good news is that we can build your villa as the plans are, if that's what you want, and it's going to be a great villa. But we just hired another architect, and I know you have such attention to detail. I think you might want to work with this other architect. Now, how many of you would respond favorably when you already in a project, $20,000 for drawings, and then the owner of the development says, hey, I think you might like this other architect? And I responded, was I happy? No, I've said, you know, I've been working with you guys for 3 months. I'm $20,000 in. And he said, well, just hear me out. So that's why I made another trip to Bali recently. And I want to share with you what came of that because of my attitude. Because if I would have went in there upset, if I would have went in there saying, how could you? Why would you do this? I went in there with an open mind and with a smile on my face. And I met their entire corporate staff, had lunch with them, spent a couple of quality days with them. Now I know I'm doing business with the right people. These are great people. And you know what I love about him? It took guts to tell me that, right? He could have he knew what I wanted. He could have just said, go ahead and let him build his villa, but he had the courage. That's another thing about leadership. It takes courage sometimes, not knowing how other people are going to respond. It takes courage sometimes to share with people. And some of you have to have that courage sometimes. Maybe it's not what your brand partner wants to hear, but sometimes it's what they need to hear if you want to help them and advance them, not only again in this business, but in their lives. Courage. And so it was a great meeting. Now I shared the first render. That's the villa that I was building. Beautiful villa. But this is what I'm building now. Okay, so I'm only sharing this with you for this reason. Not only am I building a villa that I really love, I mean, I like the first one, but I love this. But because of my attitude, since they are developers, and because they liked how my professionalism was and how I handled it, they were allowing me in their next development to be a partner with them in a multi-million-dollar development. And so I'm only sharing that with you, not to boast, not to brag, just to let you know, it's not what happens to us in our lives. It's how we respond to what happens to us in our lives. And none of us are going to be elevated alone. If you ask me I attribute my success, is that I surround myself humbly with people that can elevate me. And so you'll hear in your business, surround yourselves around people in your business that can elevate you, and don't be afraid to have those tough sometimes conversations, because that's where the growth takes place, and that's where the relationships are garnished, and that's where the appreciation and the respect is garnished. So I appreciate each and every one of you. I love you tremendously. And you know why I love you? Because this business it's not about just money. You know, you're going to hear me say the money's great, but it's about what you can take from this business by the skills that you're developing and learning, and what you can do with those skills and development in other areas of your lives. So I appreciate each and every one of you. Love you tremendously. Again, give Courtney and Sara some love, ladies and gentlemen, and give them some love. They rocked this call. I can't wait. I'm going to get the recording up this evening, even if it takes me to 11 o'clock to midnight. It's going up tonight, because I know there's a lot of value that you can all receive and get this to your team. So everyone, appreciate you and love you. Everyone have a good night. Good night, everyone.